Guys, welcome to the video lecture. In this video lecture I am going to teach you development of surfaces of pyramid and cone. So pyramid and cone can be developed with the help of radial line development. So we can see the procedure according to the radial line development method. And in the previous lectures, in the previous video lecture, we have completed projections of development of lateral surfaces of the prism, similarly cylinder. And if we come into this particular video, we are going to complete pyramid and cone. So now let us see the problem number 3. Draw the development of lateral surfaces of a square pyramid. Remember this object, this is square pyramid, base, that is square plane surface. We will have 4 isosceles triangular faces. All are meeting at a point, that point is called apex. So that is about description of square pyramid. We can see the side dimension, side of base 30 mm and height 55 mm, resting with its base on HP. That means object is located on the horizontal plane. So object is located on the horizontal plane means axis is perpendicular to horizontal plane. So in the top view we will get the true shape of the square, and an edge of the base parallel to VP, that is the condition. So we will get the true shape of the square in the top view. Similarly, we have to construct one edge parallel to the VP in the top view, that means parallel to the reference line. So if we come into the, as I said that in the last video lecture, if we come into the development of surfaces, initially we should construct orthographic projections of that particular object. According to the given position of the object, we have to construct the projections. With H pencil we can construct the projections. With HB pencil we can construct the development of lateral surfaces. So we can use H pencil for orthographic projections. So before going to that one, let us see the object position. Yes, this is our object, base edge dimension 30 mm and height of the object, that means axis dimension 60 mm, that is available. So if we come into the object, in the top view we are able to see the true shape, that is square, such that we have to keep this edge parallel to the reference line. That is what we are going to construct the projections in the first stage. So for the purpose of development, we can cut one of the slant edges. We can cut this slant edge. Then by means of unfolding, we will get the layout of pentagonal pyramid in this way. So if we come into this curvature, initially we can construct, here this is the point for constructing curve. We can take a point. So we can see the construction in the drawing sheet, that is okay. And next, if we come into the radius of this particular edge or this particular curvature, we have to take true length of this slant edge dimension. And one more thing, one point as center and radius that is equal to the true length of this slant edge. Then we can construct the arc. Then later we can construct this particular line initially, that is one slant edge. The dimension is equal to true length of this slant edge. And this point as center, base edge dimension as radius, we can construct an arc on the curve. So that is 30 mm, we can construct a point, so that we will get first base edge. Then from this particular point, 30 mm dimension as radius, we can construct another arc, so that we will get another base edge, that is second base edge. This point as center, same 30 mm dimension as radius, we can construct an arc. So that is also third edge. This point is center, same 30 mm dimension as radius, we can construct another arc. So finally we will get 4 edges. And one more thing, this particular point A, B, C, D, and last point, starting point, both are same. So and we must show the slant edges with HB pencil. Remember this point, because it has its own slant edges. We must show slant edges by means of HB pencil. We can construct the projections. Yes, if we come into the projections, initially we can construct the top view of the square pyramid, edge dimension 30 mm. So all edges are 30 mm lines, and we must show the slant edges by means of connecting every corner of the base to the center of the polygon. So here AP, BP, CP, DP, these are the slant edges in the top view, and outlines, these are the base edges. So after top view construction has been completed, we should project every point onto the reference line initially. So in this way we can project all the points onto the reference line initially. Then if you come into the axis, the height of the object, we can show the axis in the front view. So after projecting all the points onto the reference line, we should extend the projector of axis above the reference line, depends on the height of the object or axis dimension, that is 55 mm. So we can construct 55 mm axis line. Then in the next step we can mark the points. If we see the object in this direction, AB points are visible, CD are invisible. So we can keep A dash within the braces, A dash out of the braces, D dash within the braces. Similarly B is visible, so B dash out of the braces, C invisible from this particular position. So we can keep C dash within the braces because it is hidden point. And in the next step we can join A and P with H pencil, and similarly C and P with H pencil. And we can construct baseline also with H pencil. So all projections are completed, and as I said that in the radial line development we have to take a center, similarly a radius. So center, for the purpose of taking center, see this particular step clearly. Yeah, for the purpose of center, set the drafter with reference line. Then from the apex point we can construct or we can extend the line, that means locus of P dash, that is over. And next step we should take true length of the slant edge, and when the slant edge is here AP, BP, CP, DP, all lines are slant edges. When the slant edge is parallel to the reference line, in the front view we will get the true shape. But if we come into the slant edges AP, BP, CP, DP, all lines are inclined to the reference line. So here we will get the slant edge in the front view. So here all slant edges are inclined to the reference line AP, BP, CP, DP. So here what we are getting in the front view, that slant edge is showing apparent length of the slant edge dimension. So we have to find out true length of the slant edge dimension. How can we find out this one? By means of converting one of the slant edge, inclined slant edge, into the parallel to the reference line. So that here I am constructing a line parallel to the reference line, and next I can take one of the slant edge dimension as radius. Suppose here AP, BP, CP, DP, all slant edges are same dimensions. So I am taking this much dimension, that is BP. So rotate it onto the horizontal line. So here I can say this is B1. So now one slant edge is parallel to the reference line. So if we project this point and if we join this point with P dash, that line is representing true length of this slant edge. So here you have to remember this point, in which case we are getting true length of the slant edge. When the slant edge is parallel to the reference line, we will get the true length of the slant edge. But here all slant edges AP, BP, CP, DP are inclined to the reference line. That is why we are not getting true length of the slant edge. These are apparent lengths. That is why here I am constructing and I am setting this BP slant edge parallel to the reference line. So if we project this point and if we join this point with P, that line is representing true length of the slant edge. Very, very important point in the construction of pyramids. Yes, after projecting B1 onto the suppose in the problem, in the given data, we have keeping two base edges 45 degrees inclined to the base. So that time we will get the top view in this way. So in this way we will get the top view. So here this one is P center A, B, C, D. Apex, this P represents apex. Suppose we have reference line here. So if we project this point and we will get the axis, and if we join this point with the apex, this line is representing true length of this slant edge. Because what is the reason directly we are getting true length of this slant edge? Because in the top view, CP, that slant edge is parallel to the reference line, that means parallel to the vertical plane. So in that case directly we will get the true length of this slant edge. But here all slant edges are inclined to the reference line. That is why we are converting and we are setting this one as parallel to the reference line, so that we can mark a point, that is B1. If we project this point onto the local reference line, that one becomes B1 dash. Then next step we can join B1 dash with the P dash. That line is representing true length of the slant edge. So remember this point. So we have to take this line P dash to B1 dash dimension as radius, because this is representing true length of this slant edge. Okay, now let us here already we have drawn locus of P dash. So by maintaining minimum 1 centimeter gap or 2 centimeter gap, we can mark a point anywhere on this line. Okay, and next set the drafter with the P dash and B dash, P dash and B1 dash. Set the drafter, that line is representing true length of this slant edge. So in the next step we can construct the line, that is with HB pencil. With HB pencil we are going to construct the line. So here these two lines are parallel to each other. For your understanding purpose I am showing these two lines are parallel to each other. Remember this point. And that is the true length of this slant edge. I can say this is capital P in the developments, and already we got an idea about this one. So in the radial line development we have to take one point as center and true length of this slant edge dimension as radius. Already we got these 2 points. So we can take point P as center and true length of the slant edge, that dimension as radius. Draw the sector in this way. You can take any curvature. Draw the sector in this way. And next on this curvature we have to mark base points. We got P here. We have to mark ABCD points on this curvature. So for that purpose all sides are having 30 mm dimension. So we can take 30 mm dimension as radius. This point as center, draw an arc here. Suppose this is point A. Suppose this is point A. Here we will get point B. And next point B, B to C also 30 mm. So that here I can take same 30 mm dimension as radius. Draw an arc on the same curvature. So here we will get C at this particular point. And next we can take same dimension, this point as center, draw an arc, so that here we will get D. And if we come into this square pyramid, it has 4 isosceles triangular planes as faces. So we have to find out last one also. So here it is not intersecting, so we can extend the curve to intersect that particular one. So in this way we will get the points. So as I said that first point and last point both are same. So here we can give A. And for the purpose of base edges, we can construct base edges AB, BC, CD and DA with HB pencil. And remember this point, this curvature or this curve with 2H pencil only, because this is not our base. Base has number of sides. So we have to construct number of sides in the base. So AB, we can join AB with HB pencil. Similarly, BC with HB pencil, CD with HB pencil, and finally DA with HB pencil. So base portion completed, and for the purpose of showing slant edges, connect every point with P, that means apex, so that we will get slant edges. And next, the same procedure we can connect. So this is the final view of the development of lateral surfaces of the square pyramid. So we got 4 isosceles triangular faces. Similarly, apex point and base edges, 4 base edges. So in this way we can construct development of lateral surfaces of the square pyramid. Now let us move to the problem number 4. And suppose we have, instead of square pyramid, suppose we have pentagonal pyramid. So we will get one more isosceles triangle here. So that time here we will have pentagonal plane surface in the top view. So that time we will get another isosceles triangle A, B, C, D, E and A, when we have 5 base edges. So next let us move to the problem number 4, that is related to the cone. Yes, coming to the problem number 4, a cone of base diameter 15 mm diameter and 65 mm height resting with its base on horizontal plane. That means object is located on horizontal plane. Means in the top view we will get the true shape of the circle. That base is visible, circular shape is visible in the top view. So initially we should construct orthographic projections. For the purpose of constructing projections, we have these conditions. So and next, a sectional plane perpendicular to the VP and inclined at 45 degrees to the HP. Bisect the axis of the cone. Draw development of lateral surfaces of the truncated cone. That is the given problem. Actually, this is related to the sections of solids. So initially, we can construct the cone projections with H pencil. So in this way we can construct the projections of the cone with H pencil. So we can complete the development of surfaces of the lateral surfaces of the cone with 2H or H pencil, because our object is not direct cone, it is truncated cone. So after cutting this object we can complete the curvature or remaining portion with HB pencil. So we can draw the development of lateral surface of the cone with 2H or H pencil. We can see how to develop the cone also. Yes, this is the cone. We can see how to develop this particular cone. Actually base diameter, that is 50 mm, and height of the object or axis, that is equal to the 65 mm. So we have drawn the projections of the cone when the object is located in the horizontal plane in the previous step. And if we coming to the cutting, so we can cut one of the generators. So we can cut left side generator in this way. Then after removing this portion, we will get the layout in this way. So we can keep the layout on the drawing sheet in this way. So this is the layout, and if you observe this particular one, here we do not have any edges in this particular layout. So the layout is a plane surface. We do not have any lines in this particular layout. And one more thing, here we have two lines. This one is one generator and this one is another generator. So here what is the inclination between these two lines? That is denoted by theta. We can calculate theta. So as I said that here the inclination between this line to this line, the sector inclination is theta, represented by theta. So how can we calculate theta? Theta is equal to 360 degrees into small r by s. Small r means that is base circle radius. That is actually in the given data 50 mm diameter is available. So base circle radius becomes 25 mm. And s means that is true length of the generator. Actually true length of the, how can we calculate true length of the generator? From the front view. So here we can see, as I said that in the previous problem, when the slant edge in the top U that is parallel to the reference line, we will get the true shape. This is the true length of this land edge. Similarly, here in the top U, which line or which generator is representing true length. So whatever the generator is parallel to the reference line, that line is giving the true length of the generator in the front view. So if we coming to this one, EP and AP, these two lines are parallel to the reference line. So here E dash to P dash, that is true length of the generator, A dash to P dash, that is true length of the generator. So these two lines are parallel to the reference line, that is why we are considering EP similarly AP as true lengths. Remaining generators BP and DP, these two generators are apparent generators. These are not giving true length, these are reduced lengths. So we should take a point, this is P as center, and true length of the generator, this EP dimension as radius. We should construct the arc. So we can see how to construct this diagram. And one more thing, if we measure this line is representing true length of the generator. Here we got 70 mm. Measure this dimension, it is showing 70 mm. So that is what here I have substituted. So after calculation part, here we got 120. Yes, 128. Yes, we got 128.5. That is the inclination between the lines, this line and this line. So we are going to construct these two lines. What is the length of this one? This is 70 mm, true length of this land generator. Similarly, this one also 70 mm. Inclination between these two lines, that is theta, that is equal to 128.5. This is what I am going to construct with 2H pencil. So if we come into the development procedure, here set the drafter with the true length of the generator. This is what we have substituted instead of S. Yes, this line is representing S. So we can mark a point with 1 centimeter minimum gap. So next construct the line parallel to the true length of the generator, that means EP. With 2H pencil we can complete it. And next this dimension as radius, and I can say this is capital P as center. This dimension, this is AP actually, slant generator. Yes, this dimension as radius, we can construct the arc in this way. And in the next step, we got a line here. So with 128.5 degrees inclination to this particular line, we can construct another line to intersect this curve. To intersect this particular curve, we can construct 128.5 degrees line. Yes, in this way we can construct 128.5 degrees line to this particular line, and once again I am telling you this line must be parallel to this one, because this is the true length of the generator, because in the top view this line is parallel to the reference line, that is why we got this line as true length of the generator. And one more thing, here 128.5 degrees are there, and if we observe this circle, top view of the, if we observe the, yes, here if we coming to this particular circle, we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H points. We must show these points in the this particular development also. That means on this particular curvature, we should show the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H points. So how can we divide this one? We have to divide 128.5 degrees into 8 equal parts actually. So for that purpose, I can follow bisection of an angle. So bisection of an angle means we can take more than half of the dimension as radius, this point as center, draw an arc here. Similarly, this point as center, cut the previous arc. That is what I am going to do. I can explain for one point, and for remaining points I can follow the same procedure. Let me explain for one point. Yes, here we can take more than half of this dimension, or more than 70 mm dimension. This point as center, draw an arc here, and this point as center, same dimension as radius, cut the previous arc. Then if we set the drafter with this point and construct the line from point P to meet the circumference, so that automatically this one will be divided into two equal parts. So the same procedure I can follow for dividing here 128.5 divided into two equal parts. So we can construct the line 2h line. So we have divided the circle curvature into two equal parts, and next we can take more than half of this dimension as radius. This point as center. Yes, this point as center. Draw an arc. We know how to divide the angle into number of equal parts. So this point as center, cut the previous arc. So we can set the drafter with this point to the center, then construct the line from point P to meet the curvature, that is enough. In this way we can construct the line, and similarly for the purpose of dividing this portion into two equal parts, I can follow the same procedure. Same, I can take more than half of this dimension as radius, this much dimension, then this point as center, cut the draw an arc, this point as center, cut the previous arc, then draw the line in this way. So I can follow the same procedure for dividing this curvature into 8 equal parts. So finally in this way we will get the divisions 128.5 divided into 8 equal parts by means of bisection of an angle method, and we can give the naming. This is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and last point, first point same, both are point A. Next, if we coming to this one, here it is representing development of simple cone. Actual object is truncated cone. That is why here I have used 2H pencil for the purpose of constructing this development. Then we can follow the remaining conditions for sectioning this particular object. So let us see the conditions for cutting this particular object. So here sectional plane up to this particular portion we have completed. A sectional plane perpendicular to the vertical plane and inclined 45 degrees to the HP. Bisect the axis of the cone. That means sectional plane is passing through the center of the axis of the cone. So we have to show the cutting plane initially in the front view, because in the front view sectional plane will be visible as a line. So we can show that one. And conditions are inclined 45 degrees to the HP and passing through the center of the axis. That means bisecting the axis. Yes, if we coming to this particular one, here we can see the sectional plane that is perpendicular to the VP, means it will be visible as a line. So that is why here initially we are constructing line in the front view, that means in the vertical plane. So we have the condition sectional plane must be passing through the center of the axis, that means bisecting the axis of the cone. So exactly at the center of the axis I have marked a point. Then I have drawn 45 degrees line to cut the complete object, complete the cone. So here sectional plane is cutting all the generators A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, all generators. So the cutting point on A, I can say that is 1, cutting point on BP, that is 2, and cutting point on CP, that is 3, cutting point on DP, that is 4, cutting point on EP, that is 5, and here we have one more generator, that is FP, invisible point, that is located exactly at 4. So 4 is visible, 6 is invisible point, and all are dashes because this is the front view. And here cutting point on GP, that is also invisible. So that is why I can keep this point within the braces. Similarly, and this is the cutting point which is related to the invisible generator, that is PH. So that is why I can keep 8 dash within the braces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 visible, 6, 7, 8 invisible points. So after sectioning, below the sectional portion is remaining portion, and above the sectional plane portion is removable portion. So we can highlight the remaining portion. Yes, below the sectional plane portion we are going to construct in this particular development with HB pencil. And let me show you the remaining portion of the truncated cone with H pencil or HB, because comparing to the removed portion, this should be dark. Suppose in the question, suppose there is a question, draw the sectional top view also. So we have to complete sectional top view also. But in this problem, we have the aim of the problem, that is only development of lateral surfaces. That is why we are not constructing sectional top view. Suppose in the question it is there, that is which is related to the sectional top view, we have to complete this one also. But we are not discussing in this particular problem, because in the given data we have the question which is related to the development of lateral surfaces. So we can mark these 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 point 8 points also in this particular development. So let us see how to mark these points. So initially we can set the drafter with the reference line. With the reference line we can set it. And next from point number 5 we can construct the line. So that is located on EP actually. And next from 4 6, so we can draw the arc from point P as center, P2, this is the locus of 5. Draw the arc to meet or directly on the E. So for your understanding purpose, I am constructing the arc from this particular question. Okay, so here we will get point number 5, which is located on EP. So and next step, we can construct the locus line from 4 6 to meet the true length of the generator. And next 4 is related to the DP, 6 is related to the FP. So I can construct the arc with P as center, this dimension as radius, that means 4 locus line. Draw the arc to meet D and F, D generator and similarly F generator. So for your understanding purpose, I am constructing these extension curves. So if you got my point, directly you can take this dimension as radius, then directly here we can construct the arc. So here I got point 6 and similarly on the DP I got 4. And next we can take, we can construct point number 3, arc line from point number 3. And next this point as center, same dimension, this dimension as radius. Draw an arc. Actually 3 is related to the CP, 7 is related to the GP. So we can construct the arc. On CP we can mark a point, similarly on GP we can mark a point. So these arcs should be very light, very light. Remember this point. This point is 3, this point number is 7. And next we can draw the line from 2 8 to meet generator AP. Then we can take point P as center, this dimension as radius. Draw an arc to intersect HP, similarly BP. So actually 2 is related to the BP, 8 is related to the HP. So I can mark here 2. Similarly at this particular point I can mark 8. And finally we can draw the locus line from 1 to meet true length of the generator. And directly here we will get 1 is related to the A. Actually A is located at 2 ends, AP. So here we can mark directly a point, that is 1. Same dimension we can take, instead of constructing the complete arc, directly I can take this dimension as radius. Directly I can construct an arc at this particular point. So here I got point number 1. So arc should be very light, remember that point. So I got 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 1 points. So next step, we should join these points in the correct sequence with 2H pencil initially, then later with HB pencil we should highlight this numbering curve. So that is what I am going to do. Yes, in this way we can join all the points with 2H pencil, initially with 2H pencil, and later we can use HB pencil. Yes, this way we can join all the points in the correct sequence with HB pencil. And if we observe this portion here, 1A is remaining generator, we should construct this line with HB pencil, here also with HB pencil. And if you observe the base, we don't have any cutting point on the base, so there is no cutting point, so we should construct this arc, A to A arc also with HB pencil. So that is what I am going to do. Yes, this is the final view of development of lateral surfaces of the cone when the cone is sectioned by the cutting plane, that is 45 degrees inclined to the horizontal plane and perpendicular to the vertical plane. This is the remaining layout of the cone after sectioning this particular portion. So this is called truncated cone. We are developing truncated cone in this way. So before sectioning, that is related to the development of the cone, simple cone. After sectioning, this is called development of the truncated cone. And here we can see the difference between development of the cone and pyramid. So what we have observed here, so here it has slant edges, so that is why we have drawn inside lines with HB pencil. Similarly, it has base edges, that is why we have shown edges with HB pencil. This arc with 2H pencil. We have arc also, that is very light arc is there, that arc with 2H pencil, and these lines with dark pencil. And if we coming to this one here, this is a circular curvature, so that is why here we have drawn this curve, this sector curve with HB pencil. Similarly, inside lines are generators, that is why here we have drawn with 2H pencil. Don't do any mistake while constructing these two lines, these generator lines, inside generator lines. All lines are very light lines. Remember this particular point. And this is about development of the pyramid, simple pyramid, and this is truncated cone. Thanks for watching this particular video. Yes, thanks for watching this video. If you like my content and my explanation, please click on the like button and share with your friends. In the next video lecture, we can see development of different types of sectioned objects. That means prism, cylinder and pyramid. Thank you once again. Thanks for watching this video. See you in the next video lecture.